All right. Whew. I'm back. I have some refreshing water here. And why don't we pick up where we left off last night? Um yeah, angry noises. Uh cheers to you, Sierra. In fact, here I will meet that cheer with the Glublin as well. So where did we leave off last workshop? We made 2 characters, and we established that we're making level 11 characters for this party. And why are we doing this? What is the purpose? We will get to that. If you're new to the workshop and you have no idea, sit back and enjoy the ride. If you know where this is going, then also sit back and enjoy the ride because you know where it's going. Maybe you can see some extra things along the way. Building characters is fun. That's true. Oh, that was the power level or scale on Saturday Coffee. Yeah, I mean, even six lower lower level characters can really easily like just wombo combo a solo enemy. That's why there's so much environmental factors, extra actions, layer actions, and stuff like that to help with that. I do have the Dungeon Master's Guide open. I really like this. I really like this this art here, and it's a good eye grabber here. If you don't have a Dungeon Master's Guide, or especially the Player's Handbook that we're going to be using, I happen to know a friendly local game store that would love to get one in your hands. Though if you have a friendly local game store, please do make sure you go and give them the business. Your business in particular. Hopefully they've earned it, and that every book sold absolutely helps. But we have a our first character was a multi-class light cleric and champion fighter, blended together beautifully by what was more important, the fact that we are a gladiator. We're a singing gladiator, a professional fighting performer. And our character here is very compelling, has a personality. We can make role-playing decisions from his point of view quite easily because of the methodology that we used. Same here. And by the way, we have a lawful good, and then our next character was chaotic evil. And you might go, oh, all right, how's this going to work? It will, and we'll get to it. That's part of sitting back and enjoying the ride. Not tonight, but you'll see where this is going. Then we had a gold dragon blood sorcerer, Tiefling. But more importantly, because remember, the background of your character is who your character is. That's the who. And that's important for when you want to roleplay. We have a sage, in particular, a researcher of something mysterious. She's very impulsive, very self-centered. She does care about other people, but herself first. So our third member of the party is going to be, well, up to you all out there. If you have a favorite part of a character that you want to roll up, you can spend your inspiration points, your channel points, to lock in one of the categories here that we're going to roll for. But why don't we get things going? Coffee Cat, will you give us a percentile roll in chat? Exclamation point 1D100. And start our third adventurer on his or her way. 79. We have a male character. All right. And Sierra Echo wanted to lock in this next roll. So Sierra, go ahead and roll 1d9 in chat. Exclamation point 1d9. Another Tiefling. All right then. We have another Tiefling, a male Tiefling. We were using balanced odds as we want to let the story write itself, and with the raid we received in the last workshop, this is I felt it was appropriate to go balanced odds. Let's have I don't know if Ketup is back from lurking. Who else is hanging out? Do we have Bagger, Hero, Guinea Pig Gamer's probably gone to sleep, Black Kevin, if you're still around, Miller, Rez. Who all is here in chat? I see that there's 16 of you. Xbox Aaron, are you still around? Morbid Huskies, hello! A tribute steps forward. Huskies, will you please type exclamation point 1D100 in chat? $73. All right. Wow. All right. A lawful evil male tiefling. We know we're already level 11. Now, are we going to take feats or ability score improvements? Rez, I would like you to tell me that. Type exclamation point 1D100 into chat. Miller's here. So I'll call on you as well. It stops on a 40. We're just going to take ASIs. We're going to take stat bumps. All right. Now, our character background. Oh no, Sierra Echo was never heard from again. The end. Oh, Sierra. Let's have... Miller, will you please give me a D20 roll? Exclamation point 1D20. Grogrin is here, and I'll call on you as well, Grogrin. You are, in fact, being called upon, Grogrin. Not just yet, as I need Miller to give me a 1D20 roll in chat. Yep, exclamation point 1D20. There we go. 16. Oh, a pirate. Okay. Yeah, it's a pirate's life for us. All right, Hero Dragon. May I please have a 2D8 roll for our personality traits? And Grogrin, may I please have a 3D6 roll for our ideal bond and flaw? 7 and 4 for our personality. All right, let's start filling this in. We have a male tiefling. Last I knew, those were medium-sized. Alignment is lawful evil. Our background is pirate. We're level 11. Personality traits 7 and 4. And then ideal bond and flaw. Ooh, all right, Grogrin. Congrats, you rolled a 7 on a D6. Which means that if you want to re-roll the if you want to re-roll a 1d6, you may, or you can pick out your choice of an ideal for this character. So I'm going to put a question mark, and then we have Bond 3 and Flaw 5. So Grogrin, if you have your player's handbook handy, you can always pop over to backgrounds if you want to choose one, or you can give me a 1d6 roll in chat. The law of the sea, and hey, and nature's scary. Oh, I keep going too far. Soldier and sailor. There we go. No player's handbook, Grogrin. We need to fix that, my friend. We need to fix that and get you a player's handbook. The impossible twice. All right, roll 2d6 this time. And we'll take the first non-7 that appears. Grogrin, we gotta fix this, my friend. You've lurked here long enough. You definitely have enough of a contact buzz of role-playing, but all right, 3 it is. Our ideal is 3. Excellent. Hey, GMV. Game Master's Vault. I would like 1d12 from you to let us know this class. Our character's class. Oh, I'm not faulting anyone, Husky. I'm hamming it up. I'm very overtly hamming it up. There is no shame in it. Lands on a 6. We have a monk. Now, GMV, will you please give me a 1d3 roll to let us know which type of monk we are building? A sea monkey, yes, as we have a pirate. 1, a way of the 4 elements. Okay. Husky, let's come back over to you here. I would like to know how old our character is. Will you please type exclamation point 1D100 into chat? $95. We have a venerable. Yeah, we have a venerable. Tiefling here. So Husky, go ahead and roll a d20 in chat and let us know what our age is. 5. We are 88. All right, Grogrin, will you please type exclamation point 2d8 into chat? And then may I have Rez type exclamation point 2d4 into chat? All right, we're adding 12 inches. So he is 5'9". And we're taking 12 times 3. We're adding 36 pounds. And he weighs 146. Now, that does not include his gear. That's, he wakes up in the morning, scratches his butt as he's in his skivvies, and there you go. So he is 146. That doesn't count towards carrying capacity, etc. And so why do we have that as something to measure? Well, it can give us an idea about body shape or size. That also could come into play for other things like pressure plates, or things that would need to rely on some sort of a balance, or just a DM call about that. Okay, excellent. Now that we have our placeholders for our character, let's return. You do have your player's handbooks out, don't you, everyone? Let's return to Sailor and find out just what it is who our character is, by being a sailor, and in particular, a variant, a pirate. You spent your youth under the sway of a dread pirate, a ruthless cutthroat who taught you how to survive in a world of sharks and savages. You've indulged in larceny on the high seas and sent more than one deserving soul to a briny grave. Fear and bloodshed are no strangers to you, and you've garnered a somewhat unsavory reputation in many a port town. If you decide that your sailing career involved piracy, you can choose the bad reputation feature instead of ship's passage. So we have an option here. Do we want a bad reputation, or do we want ship's passage? Let's discover more about our character first. Now, there are some gimmies from this background. We are going to be getting athletics and perception as our proficient skills. We're also going to get tool proficiencies in navigator's tools and vehicles water. I'm not going to worry about the minutia of the starting equipment. We're level 11. It's all here. You can drop it into the inventory. I guess we could note that we do have 10 gapuz. Though there is something that I do want some help rolling for. We have a lucky charm, which in this case is going to be something. What is it going to be? And may I please have the help of who's lurking here? Coffee Cat. You could use some luck, as your players in your D&D game keep beating up your bad guys, and that's not fair. So, Coffee Cat, let's see how lucky you are, and I would like you to give me a percentile roll in chat to determine the trinket, which is this character's lucky charm. Number 47. All right. I don't know what that is just yet, but that's fine. We'll come back to it. And then, of course, we'll need to determine if we're going to be using ship's passage, which allows us to catch rides on ships without needing to worry as much or at all about the price, or a bad reputation. Let's find out more about our character. His personality. I'm going to move these over to have an easier time. Number 7 states, my language is as foul as an audiug nest. Ooh. Yeah, you know what? If you're an 88-year-old pirate, you've said some things in your life. And personality trait number 2 is the 4th one on the list. I stretch the truth for the sake of a good story. What is his ideal? Number 3 was brought up here, and that is freedom. The sea is freedom. The freedom to go anywhere and do anything. Now, some of you out there might go, hold on. How dare you, sir? How dare you? He is a lawful evil character, and you literally put down an ideal that says chaotic in parentheses after the entry. 2 out of 10, unfollowing, unsubscribing, and I'm canceling you on Twitter for this egregious thing. And, well, the fact is, you can hold an ideal that may not be what you currently, like how you behave, how you act, how you think. You may want, or you may yearn for something you don't have, or there's the fact that you hold this goal. You might even be on the way to pursuing it, but the way that you conduct yourself, as alignments are always a bit of a sticky wicket when it comes to how crunchy or fluffy it is. Just because we're lawful evil does not mean we have to burn down orphanages and kick puppies in the street because of that evil part. It simply means that we are methodical and selfish more than we are not methodical or selfish. And we can very much yearn to go anywhere and do anything while still being methodical and selfish. The references in parentheses next to those are ease of character build, if you just want some quick reference things. As a treat, but you have to earn it, Sierra. You can't just do it in every town. If Blackbeard grew old enough to become Whitebeard. Next is our bond, which is number 3. This is what is bonding him to our world, to our setting. I'll always remember my first ship. So even as the sun sets on his horizon, this may very well be the character's last big adventure. I'll always remember my first ship. So in some way, as a DM, as we read this character sheet, which is handed to us, this is something compelling for the characters, because as we're role-playing, we're presuming that we are someone who's going to play in a D&D game, and we're choosing these aspects because maybe we have an idea in mind that we want to role-play through or bring to fruition. And lastly, what is this character's flaw? Because we are all flawed creatures. Number 5, I can't help but pocket loose coins and other trinkets I come across. What about hey, Brewfers? What about burning down the doghouse in every orphanage? Maybe, but you're skating on thin ice, and it's thin because you keep burning everything down. It's getting kind of warm. All right, now that we have this idea about our character, let's go back and try and understand him better. My language is as foul as an audiog nest. I stretch the truth for the sake of a good story. Freedom. The sea is freedom, the freedom to go anywhere and do anything. I'll always remember my first ship, and I can't help but pocket loose coins and other trinkets I come across. Now, I want to say, given the prompts, especially because he's so venerable, if we go with bad reputation, and let's look beyond the obvious, oh, well, of course, he's lawful evil. Yeah, but that's playing into this, like, the stereotype of lawful evil, which it can be handy to do at times, but I want to have a little bit more personable take on that here. In this case, with bad reputation, it says no matter where you go, people are afraid of you due to your reputation. When you are in a civilized settlement, you can get away with minor criminal offenses such as refusing to pay for food at a tavern or breaking down doors at a local shop, since most people will not report your activity to the authorities. In this case, we have someone who has lived for so long. There are probably more stories about him doing bad or horrendous things than what he ever actually did in his life. Especially because for his entire life, he stretches the truth for the sake of a good story. And so what we might actually have, because this is important to consider as well, we have a character who is going to need to function inside a party with other characters who have different ideologies. And evil characters tend to work better solo if they're the only one in a good party, or something along those lines, or if the party is in alignment with their personal goal. Here, I think we have someone who is very curmudgeonly and who has a reputation that does precede him, but ultimately, I think we have more of an anti-hero character here. Especially someone who is someone who's on his last adventure. I can very much see that as this character is turned into us as a dungeon master, that our player says, I want this to be the huzzah, right? I want this to be the last big thing. And maybe over the course of the story, the player is fine if the character ends up dying. In fact, I had a similar conversation about that with Coffee Cat. For the longest time, Coffee thought that Mordecai was going to die. How foolish. Hi, Rip Artist. But he does have a methodology. That's how he's lived for so long. You have soldiers and sailors, and so that there's a saying: there are old soldiers, there are bold soldiers, there are no old, bold soldiers. And to an extent, that can be extrapolated to sailors. It just doesn't sound as fun, right? There are old sailors and bold sailors. There are no old, bold sailors. He is an old sailor. He follows the code. He probably participates in a lot of superstitious activity. He probably eats the same thing every day, or if it's like different things on different days. He is in a routine, but ultimately, it's because he wants to earn this ultimate freedom. So he can be. I'm sure he yells at people, especially because the way that he's looking at life, he doesn't have a lot more to live. I mean, he's probably always been very brusque, though. Now in his twilight, the sun is setting. The sun's setting, big guy. He doesn't have time for shenanigans or lollygagging. Now he can tell a good story, but when it's time to shut up, when it's time to put the sails up, when it's time to get up before dawn and get the work done, you have to do it. And he's gonna be a butt about it. And so this is a way to help explain this lawful evil alignment that he tends towards. Because he has his goals, he has his methods, and he is the captain of this ship, so to speak. Yeah, he's used to ruling a crew with an iron hook. And maybe he has a hook. That could be worked into his martial arts, Huskies. Why deal bludgeoning damage when the hook can, as an extension of yourself, could deal some martial arts piercing damage instead? Although interestingly enough, monks get the story writes its. We have an emote about this, everyone. We have an emote about this. The story writes itself. We'll see it here in a moment. Because a monk is an interesting career choice in this regard. Not because of the physicality, but because of something that they can achieve in their monkdom, their monkhood. They're monkeying around. All right, we know who our character is. Now we can ask, what is our character? And of course, every setting can treat tieflings differently. So I'm going to set aside the general lore and introduction of tieflings. We can use it, we can disregard it. In the world of Zuviwow, tieflings were discovered to apparently be actually dragon people? Question mark. So intelligence goes up by 1, and charisma goes up by 2. Our speed is 30 feet, 0 climb, 0 swim, 0 fly. We do get 60 feet of dark vision. We have resistance to fire damage, which is pretty good for dwelling on a ship. And Infernal Legacy. We get Thaumaturgy, which can very much come in handy aboard a ship when you need to yell orders above the wind. And there's a couple other neat effects that you can cause. We are also going to get as level 2 spell, cast as level 2 here. Infernal Legacy, we are getting Darkness. And Infernal Legacy, we are getting Hellish Rebuke. And this is once per long rest off of Chaw. Darkness, once per long rest off of Chaw. We can speak, read, and write Common and Infernal. Excellent. Very much so, Coffee Cat. Yep, and he is an elemental monk, Grogrin. The wind and the water could call out to him the most. Be able to put that weather eye to use. Yep. And the monk abilities are super useful aboard a rolling and pitching ship, for sure. So now that we know who our character is, we know what our character is, how does our character operate in the world? The world. The world. Well, as a monk of 11th level, we have a +4 proficiency. We are level 11, and we get D8 hit dice. So we have 11 of those, wouldn't you know? No armor proficiencies. Simple weapons and short swords. For our proficiencies. Tools. Choose one type of artisan's tools or one musical instrument. So let's do this. Grogrin, would you roll 1d12 odds? We have an artisan tool. Evens, it's an instrument. Evens, he is proficient with an instrument. And which instrument? Let's have Husky. Exclamation point 1d10. All right. I think that's the Veal, but I'll double check in the equipment section in just a moment. Saving throws are going to be strength and dex. Then we can choose 2 from acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Now, we have athletics already. Again, you can have a conversation with your DM. Would you be allowed to be would you be allowed to take expertise if you got it as a double source? Or would your DM say, no, it has to go into something else on the list? Or would it open up a free roaming slot? Talk to your DM about it. We're going to go with what we have as part of the exercise here. Acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Let's see. Let's go back to who our character is. My language is as foul as an audiog nest, and I stretch the truth for sake of a good story. The sea is freedom, the freedom to go anywhere and do anything. I'll always remember my first ship. I'm really leaning towards history. I think he's going to be proficient, because he also is history. But he's remembering this ship, maybe a ship of legend, tales from the sea, and even those that he himself has caused, and he is a storyteller. Can't help but pocket loose coins and other trinkets I come across. How has he lived his life? Probably through physicality. So I want to say acrobatics, athletics, history, and perception would be his way forward. I don't know if he was necessarily very stealthy. As a pirate, I mean, it could come in handy, but it may not be necessary. I think this works. All right, I'm not going to worry about his starting equipment. He's level 11. He's going to have what he has. Unarmored defense. We have that. Let's see. We have no other particular race traits, so we can get rid of that. We're not taking feats for this character. We can get rid of that. We are going to get martial arts. We are getting the use of ki, which is giving us flurry of blows, patient defense, step of the wind, and stunning strike. Unarmored movement. We gain the ability to move along vertical surfaces and across liquids on your turn without falling during the move. So long as we're going platform to platform. That, again, comes in very handy as a pirate. So we do have unarmored movement, and at level 11, it's plus 20 feet. So actually our run speed is 50. Climb is arguable, because we do have that ability, but climbing also means you can stop because you're holding on to it. So I'm not going to put that as a climb speed because there is a difference there. We do have our monastic tradition. Not going to worry about that just yet. We are going to get to deflect missiles. We're going to get 2 ASIs. We are going to get slow fall, also very handy on a ship and when doing piratey things. We are going to get extra attack. There's our stunning strike at 5th level. We also have key empowered strikes. We get stillness of mind. Purity of body. And we're not yet at the tongue of the sun and moon, Diamond Soul, and in particular, this old pirate's El Dorado is going to be pursuing Timeless Body. He is a feisty old timer with old man strength, most likely. He is pursuing Timeless Body. He knows he is on borrowed time. He is on borrowed time, and it needs to perfect himself. Maybe he has elements of it, which is what has led him to be able to endure for so long. But he needs to find, the pieces of 8, although in this case, it's the pieces of 15. And he's close. He's at level 11 and soon to hit that level 12. And he's going to be discovering things along the way to complete himself. So while we have a lawful evil character, again, I say that almost with some satire, we have a big central focus of a story to be told through this character. The impetus for adventure is there. All right, Way of the Four Elements. We are getting Disciple of the Elements. When you choose tradition at 3rd level, you learn magical disciplines that harness the power of the 4 elements. The elemental attunement discipline and one other elemental discipline of your choice, which are detailed in the section below. You learn an additional elemental discipline of your choice. So we get 1, 2, and 3. Our first one that we get for free was elemental attunement, and then we're going to get to choose 2 others. So some disciplines allow you to cast spells. Once you reach 5th level, you can spend additional key points to increase the level of an elemental discipline. Max key. So we can't take that one yet. We can take Punch of the North Wind to cast Hold Person. Eternal Mountain, not high enough yet. Fist of Four Thunders. Fist of Unbroken Air. The Fist of Unbroken Air would be a good one aboard a ship. Not just to, on occasion fill the sails with air, but to blow someone overboard. Will blow me down. Well, the Fist of Unbroken Air can do that. Oh, I'm sorry. We get, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. We get this at level 3, These are like invocations for a warlock. So we get this and another. Then we get one at level 6. And then we get one at level 11. So Water Whip is always a good one too. Shoves and pulls a creature to unbalance it. Knocks it prone or pull it up to 25 feet closer. Shape of the Flowing River is an action. You can spend a key point to choose an area of ice or water. You can change water to ice within that area or vice versa, and you can reshape the ice in the area in any manner you choose. You can raise or lower the ice's elevation, create or fill a trench, erect or flatten a wall, form a pillar. That could be very useful as well, depending on where he's traveled. Fireball is certainly a thing, although maybe he wouldn't go for the fire powers. If you're aboard a ship, he might be able to take it, but not all the other sailors or the ship itself can. Casting Shatter. Shatter is a pretty good thing to have aboard a ship if you're a pirate. Let's see, you can spend 4 key points to cast Gaseous Form, targeting yourself. You can spend 4 key points to cast Fly. Yeah, there's that too. River of Hungry Flame. Rush of the Gale Spirits. You spend 2 key points to cast Gust of Wind. Ooh, you know what? Gust of Wind might be more useful. Let's scroll down there real quick. A line of strong winds, so it's up to a minute. 60 feet long, 10 feet wide, blast from a direction you choose. Each creature that starts its turn in the line must succeed in a saving throw or be pushed. Disperses gas or vapor, extinguishes candles, torches, somewhere unprotected flames in the area. Causes protected flames such as those on lanterns to dance wildly. It's 50% chance. You know, for putting out fires and even pushing people overboard, it may not have the bludgeoning effect, but especially because it can fill the sails for a minute as well. I want to say that this is going to be the way forward for our monk. I think Gust of Wind is going to be a very good one for this character. This was Rush of the Gale Spirits. Hold Person, which is Clench of the North Wind. Any other level 6 ones? Specifically? Oh, Shatter. Shatter was a good one. That's right. Why cast Fireball on a ship when you can just shatter the mast and keep the ship without burning the whole thing down? Shatter for sure is going to be a good one. And then level 11. Fly. He seeks the freedom of the sea, though. So just because he can fly, maybe he doesn't necessarily want to. So I don't know if flying is necessarily something that he wants to do. So it's either between Fly or Fireball for the level 11 exclusives. To get him a pirate familiar? If we took a feat for it, Huskies, yes, per the spell, we could. Otherwise, I mean, nothing saying that he can't just have a pirate or a parrot that hangs out with him. A familiar, we could take Arcane Initiate, but we didn't roll that we're taking feats. So in this case, not going to worry about that. What else is important for? Probably the shape of the flowing river for ice or water manipulation. Water whip is a good one too. I also want to say Unbroken Air for some extra air backup. There you go. Instead of a pirate, it's an Aarakocra first mate. Water whip isn't a bad one either. That can pull someone closer and deal damage. Probably better fending people off than pulling them closer. So, all right. I'm torn between hold person. What do you think would be better for this character? I'm torn between hold person through Clench of the North Wind or Fist of Unbroken Air for more pushing. Just it's a more violent push than what the Gust of Wind offers with Rush of the Gale Spirits. What do you think is going to be more useful to this pirate? Hold person or the push and damage Fist of Unbroken Air? And I am fine with Shape of Flowing River as well, Grogrin. Water manipulation, like going through a particularly dangerous stretch of water that no other pirate here goes near. So yeah, I think Shape of the Flowing River, Fist of Unbroken Air, or Clench of the North Wind would be what this character would have used throughout his career and his life. GMV thinks it's the hold person one. Hold person because other pirates attacking the ship can be held and fall into the briny sea to die. Ah, okay. Are there... All right, any other input? Grogrin's saying go for water manipulation. GMV's saying go for hold person. Do we have a tiebreaker or another opinion on this for the final choice here? Fist of Unbroken Air, Clench of the North Wind, or Shape the Flowing River? They are good. I don't know if we get water breathing, do we? I don't know if one of this confers water breathing on us. However, pretty soon we don't need to eat or breathe. So, Well, we do have dice, but in this case, I would prefer the minds at work, to build off of what we know or see here. Rez, the final discipline of the elements to give this character. The one that lets us cast Hold Person, the one that lets us blow people away and deal bludgeoning damage, or the one that lets us manipulate water and ice. His reputation as a legendary pirate, his enemies locking up in fear, might be very thematic. I think that could play into the stories. Also being able to control the water, but also the wind, right? Well, we have that more with the rush of the Gale Spirits, because that's a steady stream for a minute. Fist of Unbroken Air is just one big that can deal bludgeoning damage. And we can already kind of, it won't deal the damage, but we can already, hi Ketup, we can already push people with Rush of the Gale Spirits. So I want to say Shape the Flowing River, or Clench of the North Wind is going to be, would that probably be better in order to keep to keep a variety of tools in the old tool belt here. I do like what Morbid Huskies was talking about in adding to the legend. I can see both of these, though, adding to his legend of being able to manipulate water and ice, especially as a pirate. Because he can turn water into ice as well. All right, Ketup. I'm burdening you with a decision. You've just come back. You have zero context for everything. We have a pirate Way of the Four Elements monk here, and as such, I'm trying to decide. And this is someone who is old, has a bad reputation as legendary. If Clench of the North Wind would be thematic for this pirate, or Shape the Flowing River, for someone who views himself as powerful and wanting to achieve a goal and is an 88-year-old pirate. So no context. And by the way, Rez, I'm not ignoring your input either. I'm giving Ketup a little bit of a razz here. We do, Ketup. We already have Rush of the Gale Spirits. We're deciding between Shape the Flowing River and Clench of the North Wind. Clench of the North Wind is Hold Person. Shape the Flowing River lets us manipulate water and ice. Shape the Flowing River. I will say this, Huskies. I do agree that being able to hold someone could add into that pirate legend. Shape the Flowing River. There we go. All right. Very good. I do need to dip back up and get our key points, which is, it's going to be 11, but check if I missed anything else. Key points 11, and we've used 0 of them. We don't have any spell slots. because what we do is off of key. We have our movement. Oh, we do have our martial arts, which at 11th level is 1d8 plus however. We can't. Very specifically, Sierra, it says you can't use ice to trap people. Now, you can make, walls and obstacles, but you can't freeze, you can't freeze someone's boots in the ice. We missed a lot more abilities also. We had slow fall. We do get evasion. Stillness of mind, purity of body. Oh, I guess evasion was the only one that I missed. You know what, Sierra? A level 10 spell is very good for that. You can if you bribe the DM. You are absolutely correct. Level 10 spells do exist. All right, a couple other details about our character here. Our lucky charm that we've carried for probably a good portion of our life is none other than... Oh, actually, we're also proficient at playing musical instruments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The viol. We probably have made some sea shanties ourselves, but we play the viol or the viol as we have a proficiency in that instrument. And then we have trinket number 47. "47 is a metal can that has no opening but sounds as if it is filled with liquid, sand, spiders, or broken glass. Your choice." A metal can that has no opening but sounds as if it is filled with liquid, sand, spiders, or broken glass. I wonder which might be appropriate, or we'll just leave it for a chance. Daily, would you please give me a 1d4 roll in chat? What is our metal can filled with? Lands on a 2. Sand. Sand-filled lidless can. That must be the sands of some far-off beach, our golden shores, where we hope to be someday. All right, Ketup. No, thank you for doing so. I appreciate the lurking. Excellent. We have a character, everyone. And now you might go, wait a minute, you don't have ability scores. How literally dare you? Canceled, blah, 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 the usual. Well, that's fine, because ultimately, yeah, the scores are going to be a part of things. We have our character's character. We can make decisions about how our character works, functions, what he says or does in particular situations, because we have this information. Now, of course, how potent is what we can measure, but we have the chassis of our character. Now we'll drop in the engine. We'll drop in the Hemi. Of course, we have our standard array of 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. We have someone who's who's been around for a while, huh? He has a bad reputation, and he very clearly embellishes stories. I don't think he's really trying to deceive anyone. I almost want to say that charisma is the dump stat. Yeah, he has a jar of dirt, Grogrin. There you go. He has a jar of dirt. I almost want to say charisma is going to be his dump stat. He's very self-absorbed and very direct. He doesn't need to charm anyone. He's a very just a direct person. His body is aging, and he's clearly seeking a cure for it, to find that unending life, to restore, the fountain of youth, really is what our pirate is after. Yeah, and so cumulative over the years, GMV, that's why maybe he's actually lived a very gentle and non-adventurous life, but for spinning tales of what he's done for the past 40, 50, 60 years, he is the absolute scourge of the seas. He is the dread pirate Robert. He is but at one point he was just I don't know, he was just a cabin boy who remembers his first ship he served on and wants to find it again back out there somewhere. Maybe he even accidentally killed a raiding pirate trying to kill his captain, and was stepping up to defend him, and that was the first man that he killed. And from there the story just took off, because at first he was kind of childish and tried to hide it or whatever, and then things just kept going out of control. Then we have this legend, and he was playing into the legend in his youth, his brash youth, blah blah blah. Now he's 88, and we have the king of pirates on our hands, effectively. So I want to say his health is going to be average at this point. He's clearly conscientious of it, but is desperately seeking a way to avoid this sunset, the inevitable. Is there such a thing in D&D for a player character looking to swap bodies with another? His body's failing? Oh yeah, Rez, this is going to sound very dismissive or flippant, but in this game, anything is anything. And even if there wasn't a spell or an item in an official book, there's nothing saying that it can't exist in your story, in your game, in your world. So he might be looking to switch into that, or to reverse his aging, or through the process of trying to perfect himself, he is through the process of perfecting himself, he is wanting to just recreate his body. So I think we're going to be good with a 10 Constitution. He won't have a lot of hit points, but I think that he's survived using some other skills. He survived using his inner magic to blow people around, keep people away from him. If he's the one that acts first, or thinks first, he's the one who's survived. So wisdom for sure is going to be a high score for him. But he's kept parts of himself in good order in order to make it this far. So while his health is failing, I think we can go 15, 14, and 13. And then 12 intelligence. Because he's picked up some things along the way. He is a part of history. He might be looking for a lich too, yeah. Or that's the lesson he learns at the end. He spent his whole life chasing a dream when he could have just been himself and not this other thing. And that might be a moment of redemption in his twilight. All right, so this goes up to 13 int. This goes up to 10 charisma. And now we have 4 points that we can drop into his scores because we have 2 ASIs, one at level 4 and one at level 8. And we're on the cusp of our next one. So something that we can do is... let's bring his dexterity up 1. Let's bring his wisdom up because he's also been around for a while too. And I think he has old man strength. And so we are on the cusp of something with his intelligence. I want to bring his strength up for those athletics and for... you know what though? Would he take athletics as the monk who can do what he needs to do? Well, yeah, he does need to climb. No, he's a monk though. He can climb up vertical surfaces and the like. Would he take strength, or would he take athletics? I don't know. I don't think it'd be insight. He's too self-absorbed. I don't think it'd be stealth though. He's not a very stealthy person to me. No, I think we're good. I think we're good with athletics. I think that makes sense still. All right. So we're going to put our last point here, as he does have some old man strength. This is going to give us a +2, a +3, a +0, a +1. I was really debating, would he know more? He might. Well, if he is proficient, he might not need... You know what? I think it would be more thematic. Let's keep that at 13. He has the proficiency, which is fine. It's a bonus, even if that doesn't get that extra 5%. Let's drop that last one in intelligence. I think this is going to be better, to make him a little bit more knowledgeable about things. And our passive perception is 10 plus our modifier. So we have a passive perception of 17. He is very wary. All right, armor class with unarmored defense is Dex plus Wiz, so that's 16. Initiative is going to be a +3. He has spryness to him here. If we attack off of strength, we're attacking at a +5. If we're attacking off of Dex, we're attacking with a +7, and our martial arts can be off of either. But in this case, I guess we would want to choose dexterity, so we'll go a +7, making his martial arts 1d8 +4 bludgeoning damage. Our spell attacks are off of our wisdom. Our saving throws are off of wisdom here. And that's also to save. That's to save versus our key effects. So we don't really have an attack modifier on it, but we do have. Wait, do we? 4 elements might be a little bit different. I got to double check one of the abilities here. Pardon me. Well, yeah, so Shatter's a save. Gust of Wind is just a save. We don't need to worry about hitting with that. Shape of the Flowing River is nothing there for that. And Elemental Attunement. All right, nope. So all we need to worry about is our save versus our key effects, which is going to be 8 plus Wisdom. So 8 plus 3 is 11 plus Proficiency is 15. So a 15 to save versus our effects, like especially like Stunning Strike as well. No extra spells. I guess spell casting ability. We can say it's Wisdom. Key points. Key points, we have 11 at this level, and to our save was, what was it? It was 3 plus 8 is 11. Okay, it was 15 to save. And then we do have spells for being a tiefling, and that these are our emergency, get out of a situation. I don't think we're necessarily built for sustained combat. Maybe that plays into the pirate aspect. We're definitely a hit and run type of character. We're moving. We're running across water. We're running vertically up ship masts and other surfaces like that. But yeah, I think we have a solid character here. We need to give him a name. Oh, I'm sorry. Current hit points. We got to do that real quick. We get all 8 at first level. Then we have our other 10 levels of half plus 1 as we take the average. Then we get all 11 levels of bonus hit points at our con mod. So this is going to wash out because our con mod is 0, so we don't get bonuses off of that or through a feat, meaning that we have 50. Whoop, that should be an X. That we have 50 plus 8. We have 58 hit points at level 11. By his age, he'd be forgetting things. I would say that, Iron Chef, if it wasn't for from his background that he'll always remember his first ship. He does stretch the truth of stories, so even if the story's not right, maybe he still remembers the truth, but he loves embellishing the embellishments. But also with the perfection of mind and body that this class is giving him, I think that this is his mind is solid. It's his body that is failing him and that he's desperate to preserve. Maybe because he can remember things, he's now finding it more difficult to operate because he's no longer in his youth. All right. Well, there we go. We have another very compelling character. And by the way, down here in companion, this could be if you wanted to have a companion as a parrot. He's not a ranger with a companion or a wizard with a familiar, but there's nothing saying you can't give someone like a pet or something. You can absolutely have that. I won't worry about that here, but you can go and take statistics out of different books for it. Anyway, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go freshen up, and when we come back, a monk with a monkey, that could work too, Bagger. When we come back, we're going to build our final character for this party together. So hold on tight. I'm going to go walk around a little bit. I'm going to freshen up with some more water. I want to make sure that that's scraping off. That is not a cuss word. That is Buckeye Broadband. I'm not cussing at y'all with an F-bomb. But I do have an F-bomb emote. So if you ever need to drop one, but you still want to be PG-13, there you go. Anyway, I'll see you in just a couple minutes, everyone. Hold on tight.